Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ridwanullah family. Welcome to a new episode of Ridwanullah TV show. I'm your host, money, business, and life maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, working to help you completely maximize your money, business, and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily all praise and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, owner, and sustainer, the one who's worthy of all worship without any associates or intermediaries. And may the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon the most esteemed leader and most honorable teacher, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. And inshallah, in today's episode, I wanted to talk about another money topic, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's basically, as I was thinking about what is the next thing that I want you guys to consider and ponder, and it's something that I had to learn the hard way, is knowing what my income, where my income level is. Subhanallah. So knowing where your income level is extremely important, and most people think they know where it is, but have no clue where it is. So it's going to be a pleasant surprise for you to figure that out, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So figuring it out is going to be very, very important. And you want to stay tuned in this full episode from beginning to end, in the middle and everything, so you can get all of the valuable information that I need and want to share with you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But before that, let me dive into the sponsors, announcements, and updates. Our primary sponsor is Ridwanulalh organization, which is an Islamic professional and personal development company designed to help you completely maximize your money, business, and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for more information, you can go to our under construction website at ridwanullah.com for more information, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If you would like to be a sponsor of this show or anything else that we do, send your request, budget, and details to Ridwanullah organization at gmail.com, and we'll be able to help you with it as long as you are within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I mentioned before, probably by the time this is going to be out, it might be phasing out, it might not be. We're in the middle of a pandemic, the economy is shut down, and for the most part, a lot of the plans have been canceled. So it's time to revamp and get on the game of not just canceling everything personally, which is reasonable, but getting on the virtual game. And for me personally, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, for the past, as long as I could remember, let's say since 2013. Yeah, so roughly about since 2013, I've been started thinking about and focused on online business. So it's just crazy how everything is pretty much getting online now. Most people are doing homeschooling, home duxi, home working, not homework, but working from home. And it's just crazy how this is just becoming like an acceptable thing. And all the stuff that I've been struggling to tell people now just kind of become validated. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. But there's still people who are skeptical still even now. But anyway, a lot of the things have been canceled, but I'm still trying to work to make sure that we're taking care of things online as best as we possibly can. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. A lot of the speaking engagements that I've had, kind of brewing in the background and somewhat scheduled, have been canceled, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it. So that's pretty much all I have, and I'm working on 2 new programs. One for sure, the other one I'm still in the background with it. But one for sure, inshallah, that I'll hopefully be launching sometime in the future. If you would like more information, send me email at Ridwanullah organization requesting more information. I'll be able to provide that to you at Ridwanullah organization at gmail.com. And the other thing is the Ridwanullah University's Life Maximization Program is back up and running. So join us in that program. It's basically designed to help you completely maximize your life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that program, we're going to cover everything except money and business. And you might be wondering what else is left. A lot more. There's your deen and self, family and relatives, the ummah and the world, and directly that's what the topics will be covering in that program, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So it'll be amazing for you to join us in that program. It's $30 per month for unbelievable value, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So your love and support and your investment within yourself is greatly appreciated. That's all that I can think about as of right now. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I'm working extremely hard to maximize my money, my business, and life. And I hope that you are as well, and I hope that your family is doing well, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's all that I have in terms of the sponsors, announcements, and updates. Now, getting on to the topic, I almost forgot, but it's related to knowing your income plus more, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So let me just cut to the chase. You have to know your income level. What are you making? Not per week, not per month, not per quarterly, but per year. Because you actually have to total that up and know how much you've paid. So if you're an entrepreneur, or I would say maybe an investor as well, you have to look at what your revenues are. You have to look at what you've paid out for expenses, and then you get your gross income. So you have to know that. You have to know your top line, your middle line, and your bottom line. So the top line would be your revenues, and then the middle line would be when you take out all of the expenses, you get your gross income, and then you take your taxes out of that, then you get your net income. So you have to know all of those different levels of income if you are an entrepreneur and or an investor. Now, if you're an employee, then you have to look at your gross income, meaning what are the total income that you've made from your hourly salary, commissions, bonuses, all of that payment. You have to think about that. And if I take a step back into the employees and investors, essentially that's your revenue, right? Or capital gains or dividends, whatever you want to call it. But if you're an employee, it's basically your gross income, which is your hourly wages, your salary, your commissions and bonuses and things like that. That becomes automatically your gross revenue, because essentially you didn't have to pay anything to be able to make that. So you go straight down into the gross income, and then you look at your taxes. You pay your taxes, and essentially you'll get your net income from that. Now, if you're in a particular situation like me where you're struggling and striving to build your business as well as you're keeping your job, you basically do your business and investments budget, and then separately, and then or income statement separately, or revenue statement, whatever you want to call it, separately, and then you do your employee information separately, and then you total that up together to be able to get your net income. And we're not talking about the top line, the middle line. The main focus is your bottom line, because at the end of the day, your bottom line is what you're going to be able to save, spend, and give, essentially. So that's what you need to do, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is to know that. What is that amount? And I remember the lowest that I've seen, I'm not going to tell you the highest right now, but the lowest that I've seen in my career is, I think it was like $4,000 or $6,000 a year. And that's when I was a student, probably in high school or maybe college. I made $6,000 a year. Subhanallah. Boy came a long way, baby. Your boy came a long way. Still got a longer way to go. But, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I'm doing reasonably well. A lot better than I need to. No. A lot worse than I need to, but a lot better than. Anyway, I'm going down the rabbit hole on that one. But to be honest with you, I never really paid attention to how much I'm making per year. So obviously I can break it down into quarters, monthly, weekly, daily, right? But essentially you need to know the bigger picture first, and then you break it down from there. And if you want to take it even into a bigger picture, is how much have you made so far in your career? And that's one of the books about money that I've been wanting to read. That's what it advised to do. So you can go that far if you want. Or what do you hope to make in the grand scheme of your life, in your career, your calling, or whatever it may be. But it's sad how many people, including myself, that we're struggling and striving to improve our income level to a level that we don't even know what that is. We're just hoping and desiring and wishing generally, which is a whole new topic of its own. And we have no clue where our income level is. We're just in the daily grind of working our butt off. I don't even know if I should say that, but working our faces off. That seems a little comfortable. Working our faces off to be able to make a certain amount of money. Working around 40 hours or more per week. Only to be completely overwhelmed and stressed with money. And then, spending it however we're spending it and going throughout that whole process. And just repeating that same cycle and avoiding it. Looking at our bank accounts and paychecks and everything else that we're having, the revenues and everything else. And then, failing to make our money reasonably, failing to manage our money reasonably, and failing to maximize our money reasonably. And understanding how our businesses and investments and all other aspects of life fit into this whole big picture. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to emphasize and stress to you is you have to know what your income level is. You have to first know where your income goal needs to be per dollar amount, net amount. And you need to be able to, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, look at where you are right now, right? And not feel bad about where you are, but feel good and happy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided to give you that amount per year. And then, and not just happy, but be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there's, especially in this pandemic, there's people who've lost their jobs. There's people who are struggling to find a job. There's people in all sorts of predicaments and situations. So if you still have an income and some level of income, say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I'm hopefully one of the first ones to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessing us with that. Then look at what you have left to be able to get to where you need to be financially, income-wise, and work your face off to get it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But essentially, know where you want to be, know where you are, and be grateful for where you are, and be hungry and driven for the rest of where you need to be, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And make sure, more importantly and most importantly, that you're keeping it all within the boundaries, rules, and regulations for regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no room for haram money. There's no room for haram income. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to knowingly make halal money. And if there's anything that we don't know, allow us to know about it and allow us to overcome it. People in the West find themselves in predicaments that are very, very tough. Muslimin, I'm talking about, which is my target audience. There's certain situations like a lot of people are not aware of, where when they're making money and they have like savings accounts that are earning interest, even if it's like 0.0001%. It's still is not permissible, whether you know it or not. You need to be able to take care of that, and you can simply go to your bank and ask them, I don't want any interest in my bank account. And I had to do that and learn that through a student organization that I was a part of, and they were able to accommodate that. Obviously, who's not gonna accept, hey, don't pay me money, essentially, and obviously taking it and is another whole nother thing that I don't want to get into the rabbit hole of. But I just want you to know, what is your annual income? Let me test this out. Do you know your annual income? Is it yes or no? Be honest. Okay. Did you think you knew your annual income before? Was most likely yes. Sometimes it's a no. So between those two answers, figure out and make sure that you know what your annual income goal is and where you are right now. And for me, it's an ongoing battle. I've figured out a couple of formulas that allows me to see what my income goals are, where I'm at with it right now, be grateful for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with so far, and be hungry and driven for all the other income that I'm leaving on the table for one reason or the other. You build on from there and continuously work on from there, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I hope that this was as valuable for you as it was for me. This was extremely, extremely valuable. One of the things that I've gained from doing this episode is my income. I've always had an income goal. Well, not always, but as of recently, the past couple of years, I would say. And it's just kept getting better and better, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And I've realized what I thought my income goal was might not be my income goal. So I had to step it up a little bit more. I have my minimum and kind of my max. That's what I need to focus on first, and then look at how much I'm making right now and be grateful for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, and being able to be hungry and driven for the other amounts of income that I can be making, whether that's through my businesses, jobs, and or businesses and investments, and or jobs, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Whether that be online, which is most preferable because of the level of freedom and flexibility that it gives you in terms of finances, time, and location, but offline as well. For me, I try to have that balance where I look at doing business and investing online as well as offline, and finding that right balance is extremely important for me in my business and investments. As well as my job that I currently have right now, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And it's an ongoing battle, and you're slowly but surely working to build your businesses and investments up to a level where you don't need to be at a job, or you don't even need to work, period. But you choose to work, and you continuously work on doing what you love. And it's a grind, I'll be honest with you. But figure out what your income goal is. Figure out where you are with your income on an annual basis. And that was a big game changer for me. It's not easy to kind of, stay consistently focused on it and consistently improving on that. But it is a necessity. And most importantly, make sure you're taking care of your deen first and foremost and primarily, while you're taking care of your income. Don't lose connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is it's the most important thing that you have in your life. It is your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's giving you your income. And if you're naive and ignorant and arrogant enough to think, I'm the one who's working for my money, then there's a long way to go. Yes, you are working for your money, and more importantly and more rightfully, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's providing this to you. So don't ever forget that, and that's a reminder to myself first and foremost. Figure out what your income goal is, figure out where you are right now, and continue on from there, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's all I got for you guys today in this episode. To summarize and conclude, I think I've already done that, but struggle and strive to know what your income goal is, to know where you are right now. Be grateful for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, and be hungry and driven for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for you. And don't forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and be convinced that your income comes through and only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jalla wa ala. Even though you might be working hard for it and doing the due diligence, at the end of the day, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not grant you the permission, you have none. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to continuously improve on that. That's it. My challenge to you, as I've mentioned before, is know your income goal, know where you are, be grateful, and be hungry. Jazakumullahu khair, Ridwanullah family, for tuning into another episode. Actually, before that, just a quick reminder on the sponsors, announcements, and updates. Go to Ridwanullah.com for our primary sponsor. And if you would like to sponsor this show or anything else that we're doing, send your request, budget, and details to Ridwanullahorganization@gmail.com. Obviously, a lot of things have been canceled for offline events and things like that, but online is still fair game. Let's see. I'm developing an amazing program that I've been thinking about for a little while, and kind of simultaneously working on it. But one of the monthly membership programs that I have personally is Ridwanullah University's Life Maximization Program. That's where we help you maximize all the other parts of your life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like your deen and self, your family and relatives, the ummah and the world, and everything else within that. We'll be in that program, so feel free to join us during that program. For $30 per month, you'll be able to have 24/7 access to one live training per month and one live coaching per month from me directly to you online 24/7, whether you can join us during the live session, which is preferred, or you watch it anytime. That's what we have, and we have a lot more things coming up through that program. So join us in that program, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. If I don't have the links below, go to Ridwanullah.com, and if you can't find that, just search Ridwanullah University Life Maximization Program. I'm still trying to learn this whole online platform thing. I'm a one-man army so far. Hopefully I'll have a Ridwanullah team behind me to help and support the Ridwanullah organization and everything else that we're doing, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's pretty much it. Jazakumullahu khair, Ridwanullah family, for tuning into a new episode of another episode of Ridwanullah TV show. I'm your host, money, business, and life maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, working to help you completely maximize your money, business, and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.